That sound. Right there. That laugh. For thousands of years, it has made the hairs stand up on the back of human necks. Travelers crossing the African savanna at night have described it as the sound of madness itself, as if the darkness had learned to mock them. But here's the thing about that laugh. It isn't joy. It isn't madness. It's communication. It's power. And the animal behind it? Far smarter, far more complex, and far more dangerous than you were ever taught to believe. Africa, the Serengeti, a landscape that has been sculpted by predator and prey for millions of years. And here, moving like a single organism across the grass, is one of evolution's most successful experiments, the spotted hyena. Crocuta crocuta. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, spotted hyenas are classified as least concern, which, on an African landscape increasingly squeezed by human expansion, is nothing short of remarkable. There are an estimated 27,000 to 47,000 spotted hyenas remaining in the wild. They are the most abundant large carnivore in Africa. Look at that face. Really look at it. There is something ancient in those eyes. Something calculating. The spotted hyena has been roaming this continent for over 3 million years, outlasting dozens of species that came and went. The saber-toothed cats are gone. The dire wolves are gone. The hyena? Still here. Still laughing. The spotted hyena is the largest of the 4 hyena species, which also include the striped hyena, the brown hyena, and the aardwolf. But the spotted hyena is in a class of its own. Adults typically weigh between 88 and 190 pounds, with females being significantly larger than males, a biological reversal that, as we'll soon discover, defines every aspect of how this society functions. They are built like no other predator on Earth. The front legs are longer than the back, giving the body that characteristic sloped silhouette. Powerful at the shoulders, tapered at the hips. That shape isn't a flaw, it's a feature. It gives the hyena a rolling, ground-devouring gait that can cover 37 miles per hour and sustain a chase for miles without breaking down. A lion is a sprinter, built for the explosive burst. The hyena is an endurance machine, built for the long game. And in the game of survival, endurance almost always wins. For generations, we got the hyena wrong. Hollywood gave us the hyena as the villain's sidekick, a cowardly thief, a skulking scavenger. He's a creature that didn't earn its meal, but stole it from nobler animals. A comic relief dressed in spotted fur. That image stuck. It was also almost entirely false. Beginning in the 1960s with zoologist Hans Kruk and expanded by decades of field research since, scientists began to understand just how badly we had misjudged this animal. Kruk's landmark study, The Spotted Hyena, a study of predation and social behavior, published in 1972, fundamentally rewrote the narrative. What he found? The hyena doesn't primarily steal from lions. Lions steal from hyenas. Studies in the Serengeti and Ngorongoro crater have consistently shown that spotted hyenas kill up to 95% of the food they eat. They are apex predators, not scavengers, and in many ecosystems they kill more prey than lions do. Hyenas are not fearful animals, and they are strategic animals. They know when to fight and when to fall back. That is not weakness. That is intelligence. In 2009, researchers at Duke University published findings that shook the scientific community. When they compared the problem-solving abilities of hyenas and chimpanzees, our closest relatives, spotted hyenas outperformed the chimps on certain cooperative tasks. Let that land for a second. Hyenas, more effective problem-solvers than chimpanzees. The study found that hyenas working in pairs could figure out cooperative puzzles faster and with less communication than chimps. They didn't need to vocalize or signal constantly. They simply understood what the other was doing. an almost wordless coordination. That's not animal instinct, that's social cognition. According to National Geographic, hyenas have some of the highest encephalization quotients. That's the ratio of brain size to body size among carnivores. They sit in the same cognitive tier as wolves, dolphins, and great apes. They remember individual relationships. They track social hierarchies. They hold grudges. They plan. Scientists have documented hyenas watching wildebeest herds for hours before selecting a target, identifying the weakest individual, anticipating separation points, choosing the moment of attack with what can only be described as deliberate patience. That's not scavenging. That's hunting with forethought. To understand the hyena, you have to understand the clan. Spotted hyenas live in matriarchal societies, one of the few large mammals on Earth to do so consistently and completely. Clans can range from a handful of individuals to over 80 members, making them one of the most socially complex carnivore societies on the planet. And in this world, females rule. The dominant female, the alpha female, sits at the top of a strict and deeply remembered hierarchy. Her cubs inherit rank immediately at birth. A cub born to the alpha female is automatically dominant over every adult male in the clan, from the first day of its life. Males, by contrast, are second-class citizens. They feed last. They move to the periphery. They must earn every interaction through sustained submissive behavior. The evolutionary driver behind this reversal? Androgen exposure. Research published in the journal Science has shown that female spotted hyenas are exposed to extraordinarily high levels of androgens, male hormones, during fetal development. This produces females that are larger, more aggressive, and more dominant than males. It also produces one of the most unusual anatomical features in the entire animal kingdom. The female spotted hyena possesses pseudomale genitalia, a fully developed pseudopenis and pseudoscrotum formed from the same tissue that becomes male reproductive organs in most mammals. There is no external vaginal opening. Birth occurs through the pseudopenis, a process so physically demanding that first-time mothers lose up to 60% of their cubs during delivery, and maternal mortality is significantly higher than in virtually any other mammal. It is one of nature's most brutal evolutionary trade-offs: dominance and social power paid for in blood. And now, that laugh. The laugh of the spotted hyena is technically called a giggle vocalization, and it has nothing to do with humor. According to research from the University of California, Berkeley, the giggle is a stress and excitement signal, most commonly heard when a hyena is being chased, displaced from food, or overwhelmed in a social interaction. But hyenas have an entire vocabulary. Researchers have identified over 11 distinct vocalizations, including the whoop, a long-distance contact call that can carry over 3 miles across open savanna, used to rally clan members or communicate location. The groan, used in submissive greeting rituals, and the fast whoop, an alarm signal that brings the entire clan running. Not that call in the dark? The one that's haunted human imaginations for millennia? That's a hyena telling its family, "I'm here." Where are you? That's not the sound of madness. That's the sound of belonging. If the brain is the hyena's sharpest weapon, the body is its insurance policy. The spotted hyena's jaws generate a bite force of over 1,000 pounds per square inch, one of the highest of any land mammal on Earth, according to research published in the Journal of Zoology. For context, a lion generates roughly 650 pounds per square inch. A German shepherd, the gold standard of domestic biting power, manages around 238 pounds per square inch. Those jaws can crush through the femur of a Cape buffalo, through the skull of a wildebeest, through bones that every other predator on the landscape abandons. And that's not just power. It's an ecological role. By consuming bones, the hyena extracts nutrition that no other animal can access, And by digesting everything, bones, hide, hooves, hair, they leave almost no waste. A single hyena can consume up to 14 pounds of meat per feeding. A clan can reduce a full-grown zebra to nothing in under 30 minutes. They are, quite literally, nature's cleanup crew. But they're cleanup crew by choice, not by limitation. For all their resilience, hyenas face a narrowing world. Human expansion into African wildlife corridors has brought hyenas into increasing conflict with farming communities. Livestock predation leads to retaliatory killings. In some regions, hyenas are trapped, poisoned, or hunted. According to the IUCN, populations outside of protected areas are in measurable decline. Organizations like the Spotted Hyena Research Project, the African Wildlife Foundation, and teams operating within the Maasai Mara National Reserve are working to shift the narrative, educating communities, tracking clan movements, and advocating for the corridors these animals need to survive. Because the loss of the hyena would not just be a loss of one species, hyenas are a keystone species in their ecosystems. Remove them, and the cascading effects move through the food web like a shockwave. Carcasses accumulate, disease spreads, prey populations destabilize. The whole system shifts. Nature built this animal to be indispensable. We just didn't notice. 3 million years. Through ice ages, mass extinctions, the rise and fall of civilizations, the hyena has endured. While other apex predators contracted to remnant populations, while ecosystems collapsed and reformed, while human beings built cities and told stories about monsters in the dark, the hyena kept walking, kept hunting, kept laughing. Maybe the laugh was never meant to frighten us. Maybe it was just the hyena looking back across 3 million years of survival and finding the whole thing, our fear, our misunderstanding, our arrogance, just a little bit funny.